Well, oh, hello. Welcome back to She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks. Today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. So you know what that means. That means Kendrick's here. Woo, woo.
Why, hello. Hello.
Okay, so real quick, subscribe, comment, rate, review, but we have a really big thing to talk about before we do anything else. Okay.
Yeah. Did something happen today? What happened
I
today?
feel like there might have been some news.
Maybe.
Um, Jen Shah decided to enter a guilty plea at the last second. I mean, she gave nobody no warning, nothing. She just snuck it on in there. So
Yep.
it's been everywhere. But the part that really stood out to me is the statement that her lawyer released on her behalf. Let me read it. Let me read it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ms. Shah is a good woman who crossed a line. She accepts full responsibility for her actions and deeply apologizes to all who have been harmed. Ms. Shah is also sorry for disappointing her husband, children, family, friends, and supporters. Jen pled guilty because she wants to pay her debt to society and put this ordeal behind her and her family.
Is that why she pled guilty?
Listen.
Is that why she pled guilty?
I kind of wish she didn't say. I'm like, she didn't need to make a statement. She made a statement. She pled guilty. I don't need this statement.
Right. No. First of all, no one thought she was innocent to begin with. Like, we didn't need you to declare anything to us. The court system needed you to declare something to them. We didn't need that from you. You could have left this in the draft folder. We didn't need this. Didn't need it.
But you I don't need a statement because I was sort of hoping that she would do like an interview later that was like, I had no choice. I was basically framed or something and I wasn't going to get a fair trial or whatever.
Oh, girl.
I was expecting her, if she's going to go this far, why not go all the way into the jail saying it?
Right. True.
But to give up here and then be like, sorry, guys. I'm like, you fought every single cast member of yours for even daring to say that they might believe all these charges. Maybe even one of them. How dare you? You don't like when she yelled at Whitney you don't know we've never discussed my business, Whitney. Whitney's like, I was just explaining what the charges were. Like what she's like, yeah, but we've never even talked about that. Okay, so you owe Whitney an apology. You owe Meredith an apology. You owe Lisa Barlow an apology. You owe Heather. You owe everyone on that cast and
not
crew.
Mary, because Mary peeped you from the beginning. Mary said, I go to sleep every night and pray that you're found guilty. I mean, innocent. So,
and then she went, oh God, did I say that?
Right. Mary told y'all, if you mess with her, she's sending Jesus after you. So, Jan, you messed a little too hard.
I'm a little bummed out that we didn't get to see the comedy that was going to be her defense against this. Because that the stuff they were presenting, all the pretrial stuff, the judge was like, hey, defense team, you have to submit some stuff, right? And they're like, we're saving it for the trial. And he's like, no, that's actually not how it works. There's a whole protocol.
Right. This is not a rom-com, so we actually need to follow the guidelines here, but okay.
That all lawyers know about, all of us that went to law school know the procedural. It's all about procedures in law. But they're like, we plan on busting out a surprise witness at this trial. They're like, no, you can't.
You need them on the list. This is a pre-approved witness list. They need to be on here. Not a surprise. This is not Law and Order SVU. What is happening right now?
They want to be like, Your Honor, we call, and then they have someone come through the doors, some surprise so-and-so to the stand, and it's like, oh my god. It's no, it's very boring compared to TV shows and movies.
Yes.
So you have to do all that stuff, and they're like, okay, we actually don't have anyone. Jen keeps saying she's gonna get us someone, but she doesn't have it.
Right. What always like screws me up is like we see like on TV so often that like on these Law and Orders and like every court show, like the defendant is on the right side and then the state is on the left side, and then like when you watch an actual trial, like the defendant is over here. You're like, wait, what are you doing over there? Like, no, Law and Order say you should be over here. What are you doing? No, what is happening? Too much is changing. When you really see
a trial, you're like, this is disappointing.
Like this is pretty boring. Like,
can you guys actually can you change it up for the sake of us?
Right. Like this is televised for a reason. Like, why is no one like on their knees shaking their fist to God, like wondering why this is happening to them? Like, this is pretty boring. Y'all need Viola Davis in this trial. Like this, we need someone, an EGOT or someone to really, really drive this home. Not working. So
I'm really bummed out that we didn't get to see that like comedy of errors of them like coming up with like fake evidence. Remember the last thing we saw was she was going to, because Stewart was going to testify.
Yes.
And she was like, we should be throwing out his testimony because he has been racist the entire time we've been working together. And as an example, he called me a dark queen one time. And I was like, I feel like she's called herself that. I feel like she's like, me, dark queen. I feel like I've heard her say that in a confessional. So I was like, okay. Hello. And then so the more and more, it's almost like she thought someone would call her bluff. She thought that they'd be like, you guys, I don't know. She's really willing to go to trial. Maybe she's innocent.
What happened was she was sitting in her room like this week, probably like, okay, they haven't come down from that 50 years yet. Like, I don't know if I have 50 in me, first of all. So like, what's a much more manageable number? Like them throwing out that, what was the other one? It was wire fraud and it was something. They threw out the bigger one. And so
the charges.
Yes, there was two. Like one of them was like supposed to carry, like had it been both of them, it was going to be up to 50 years. But then one of them dropped, so it was like 30 years she was looking at. But then they were like, you know what? Plea deal, maximum 14. Like that's all good. And it's like, oh.
Those prosecutors are just like watching and waiting. They're like,
they were ready for this.
They're like, we'll take this one off the table. And then she's like, fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm guilty, guys. I'm very right. And then they made her say all the words. What are you guilty of? Wire fraud. Ooh, say it again. Say all of the things. Say you knew that there was no value. Say it. So I've only seen maybe one comment on my post, but I haven't seen a lot of the Jen Shah stands. And how are they spinning this? Yeah, I haven't. I'm sure they're going to spin this to say that it was like racist. I'm sure there's going to be that.
Right, child.
Or that she wasn't going to get a fair trial. But like, how are they going to? I mean, these are her own words.
I want to be very clear with everybody. Like, this wasn't like a traffic violation where like someone stopped and it was like, okay, I was brutalized by the police. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Or it wasn't like no, I've been falsely identified. Like this person has never saw me. I was at work. It was none of that. The government has been building a case against Jen Shah since 2012. Like they've been building a case.
12
for a decade now. Like you don't, there are a lot of things you want to do in life. Going up against the federal government might not be one of them. They don't usually miss. If they're coming to you with charges, they probably got a lot of evidence against you. 10 years worth. So I don't know, sis. That might have been a plea bargain from the jump. I don't know.
That's also why whenever it was like, who called the feds? I'm like, I don't think anyone had to call them. Like,
so stupid. Oh my
guys,
God.
like there was no phone number that they were like, bleep, bleep, bleep. Hey, feds, we're
not
gonna be
Crime
a beauty
Stoppers.
lab and laser. They're like, we know.
Right. We've been watching you. We know.
We're like already scheduled. Like we know your whole entire film schedule. Like thank you.
Yes, the store with all the pregnant teenagers. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
aware.
we know.
We're aware.
We're actually watching them for different reasons.
Yes.
we're on to that for other various things.
Yes, Heather Gay is number 2 on the list. Like we've gotten Jen Shah. We're going to the next one now.
Yeah. So that happened today. So needless to say, for Kendrick and I, it was a busy day because when things like this happen for the Bravo community, it feels like pressure on us. Like we need to like report on it and like
right.
all these like breaking updates keep happening. And we're
not investigative journalists like Portia. Okay.
Yes.
We got to do our thing. We're investigative journalists, you guys.
I mean, so yeah. So on top of everything else, I didn't even get to make an Atlanta post. I mean, you did. I saw you made only one. That was very impressive.
It was only one. I was like, okay, a lot is going on today. I think we should all focus on this. And then tomorrow I'll come back with like an actual carousel of memes because I feel like we all need to like focus on the big picture here. So I'll be back tomorrow, but here's a little something to tide you over until then, because can I just say Mondays in the Bravo community always make me a little nervous because so this day, I don't know what's worse, like finding this out, because we found this out early in the morning. Like I had a full day ahead of me, and I was like, oh God. So like I can't even be nearly as productive as I want to be at work. But I don't know what's worse, that or finding out while I'm laying in bed about to go to sleep that Portia Williams just posted a confessional on her Instagram about, oh my God, so yes, it's true, me and Simon started dating, and so it's that's a day I will never forget. Never. Like that was back when Clubhouse was big. We all jumped on. We were like, what is it? My heart was racing a mile a minute because I was defending. I was, I'm a Portia apologist. I was on the internet like, oh my God, Portia would never do that. That's somebody's husband. What do you mean? She would never do that. And then of course she's like, I did that. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay.
And she's like, to be clear, I didn't even really know her.
Right. I brought her on the show, but I didn't know her. It's like,
yeah, it's like she probably did. To be fair, you're like, production probably did that thing where they're like, okay, Portia, you'll be the one to bring her on. But that was a day.
She's around your age, so
there were so many question marks on that day because like you had to, like their follow-up questions, and she just dropped it like it was all casual. Yeah, days like these are kind of stressful.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my God.
Yeah, I dropped my Southern Charm recap. I didn't even bother telling anyone. I'm like, if they wanted to listen to it, they will. I'll do a promo tomorrow because no one will care.
I was literally listening. I was listening to my episode that I put out today with Taria, and I was like, okay, I need to find a clip like to actually like post some promo. While I'm listening to the episode, this happens. I'm like, no one's gonna give a damn about this episode. Like, who cares? Like, let me just post it just because, in case anybody wants to listen. But like, no one cares.
That's the hard part. Is like what you play to the market, and right now it's all about the Jen Shah. And I don't blame people. It's fascinating. It's confusing, especially since Meredith Marks just posted the day before. Just to remind some of you, I live in America, where you are you are entitled to a trial because you're innocent until proven guilty. I mean, like, it couldn't have been a worse worded fucking story.
Do you think Jen was like, because they're like in New York together, do you think she was like watching her type that, like, just so sweet of you, knowing full well she's gonna like plead guilty the next day?
Like, it's like, did Jen go, thank you, Meredith, you're so sweet?
Right. Let's go to Mr. Chow's now. Like, what is happening?
So thank God cameras are rolling and they're getting reaction shots to everything. But what makes me more mad is they're going to have so much of season 3 be them talking not at all about Jen and like how Jen's innocent, basically.
Oh God. They need to just revamp and like put all this in there.
Pivot. They're going to do what they did last year, which is start the season. You know how they did that in the beginning, the very first shot is going to be Jen Shah pleads guilty. And then they're going to be like 5 months before.
Right. Like, oh God.
And then we're going to have to like, that. I'm like, I don't care about 5 months before. I only care about after Jen pleaded guilty. I could
Hello.
not care less about what she was doing before.
There's not a possibility they can drop a trailer entertaining enough to hook me in that doesn't involve her pleading guilty.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
all I care about. Who cares?
I don't want to sit and watch her like on a cast trip talking about how she's innocent, and they're like, Jen, we believe you. You are.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be surprised if Heather Gay put up Beauty Lab and Laser as collateral to help her pay back some restitution, honestly.
Because seriously,
Heather rides for her.
What does Jen have on Heather?
Heather seemed like we like prided ourselves on like, you know, Heather was like our like you remember early days Khloe Kardashian?
Yes,
like, it was our Kardashian. Like Heather was our Salt Lake City housewife. She was so down to earth and practical. I don't know where this happened to where she's just like, I'm putting all rationality out the window. Who needs to be rational? I'm riding for her full force. That's my girl. Who cares? I'm on your team 24/7. Who gives a damn? We'll just pivot everything to make it look like Mary's a cult leader and we'll leave your trial on the table. It's like, why?
I like the clip from last reunion where Jen's like, I'm innocent and I'm gonna fight this, and there's Heather right next to her going, yeah, she's innocent, she's fighting it.
Saying that she's doing it for all of the people that don't have the courage to fight back or don't have the means to fight back. Well, those people are probably actually innocent sometimes, and like you who is not. So let's not do that.
That's why it's even more rude that she always picks like a cause that is inappropriate for her, because you're talking about actual innocent people who are wrongfully convicted.
Yes,
you are guilty and you're riding on that movement, you know. Oh my God, for all the people out there who are wrong. No, Jen, that's not you.
God, she piggybacks on other people's issues so often. It's so annoying. Jen, so how many years do you think she's gonna get? She's up for 14.
I don't know.
I honestly, I know a lot of people are like not thinking it's gonna be a harsh sentence. I think 8 years.
8?
I think 8 years.
I think 8. Okay, so I'm really bad at guessing these things. Hold on, I need to yell at my dogs. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I need to just yell.
There you go.
Okay, we're back. Dogs have been yelled at. I'm not good at like guessing these things because I always feel like with white collar crimes, they do shit where they're like, and then we'll put it in for I don't know, they'll like do math and then be like 1 year.
Right.
But do you think it could be that low? Do you think they could find a way to make it that low?
So I've been seeing people thinking like, no, it'll be like 5, it'll be 3. They don't think 14 is where she'll go. They don't think she'll get the max.
Yeah.
It's for me.
It won't be a year, right?
Remember,
that's too low.
No, I think that's way too low because because I don't even think we can look to Stewart like as a guy, like, because I'm guessing he'll get sentenced first, but I don't even think that that's like a good way to look because she's been pegged as the mastermind behind all of this. So like this is a wide-reaching case. Like they've already dropped one, but it's like, okay, we did you a favor. We got rid of that one. That was one worth 30 years. Like we threw that one out. You still got 14 on the table. Like I think that judge
to make an example, because these are elderly people,
right?
She's not a victim at all. She scammed. Oh, I need to remind myself of that. Like imagine my grandmother. Got it. Never mind. Throw the book at her.
Yes. It's gonna be crazy. Like
it's gonna be a lot.
So what do you think?
Oh my God.
Do you think this show
she's gonna go to prison for like 3 years, let's say?
Right. She's going to prison. Because I think her sentence, if I'm not mistaken, I think she has a minimum. So like I think she has to do at least so many days. Like I think, don't quote me on this, I think half a year is what she has to do no matter what. So I think it was so many days that she has to spend in jail, like was a minimum for like her plea agreement. So I don't know if I don't know. This is gonna be crazy because this isn't like Teresa just like signed her name on some papers and got a year. So like I can't remember. Juicy Joe was like the one that was really like kind of out here scamming, but even Jen's was way bigger than that. So Like I have to imagine, oh boy. It's got to be at least 5, right? At least 5. I would.
Is this going to sound bad if I say this? I don't want to quote get excited about a higher sentence,
Right.
only to be quote unquote disappointed. You know, like that's almost why I know this sounds fucked up, but I don't care. She's an asshole.
She
I want her to get more than a year, but I want to say 1 year so that I'm not disappointed.
Okay,
You know
you're
what I
setting your
mean?
standards. Okay.
Because if I had it my way, I like
Uh-huh.
your idea. I like 8.
Yeah.
8 sounds good.
It's right
8.
there, and it's super harsh. It's not the maximum, but it kind of shows you like, because I always try to think, I'm like, okay, there were real victims in this. Nobody was killed though, but there were real victims in this still. Like there were people who like couldn't do their businesses. Like one woman, I think, like she scammed one woman into like trying to sell blankets or something like that. Couldn't do it. Like didn't sell like one thing online for her, and this woman like ended up going out of business. She's like, why am I like trusted this company, haven't sold a thing? And that's people that know nothing about the internet because it's not of their generation. So it's like, even though it's not like a physical assault, a murder or something like that, but it's real people were affected. So
They like lost life savings. Like big, huge things happen at a point in their lives where they don't have the time to work and make it back. So,
how much did the Fire Festival guy get? Do you remember?
Oh, why? Because you think it'll be kind of equivalent,
maybe comparable, like because that was a big like financial crime that was like public to people where people were still like blatantly scammed. So it makes me wonder.
Let's look and see. Okay. Fire Festival guy. Billy McFarland. Let's see what Billy McFarland sentence. He was sentenced to 6 years. Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
I can almost guarantee you, without Mary and without Jen, Salt Lake City won't make it that long. So we don't have anything to look forward to her coming back to. Like I give them 5 seasons top. Like without them, I don't know if there's anyone else. I'm sorry to all of your wonderful, amazing Utah listeners, but I don't know if there's anyone else in the city of Salt Lake City that can carry a show like.
Well, we don't know that because there may be a bunch of crazies. No offense, but that's what we want. We want crazies. So it's possible. However, with the current cast, none of them could carry the show. And I love Barlow because she's crazy, but like not in a way that's a lead.
But she's not appointment viewing TV.
No. She's got the funny one-liners and like plays off of things well, but she doesn't like. No, and like Heather, God no. Whitney, no. And everyone else is a newbie. So they're scrambling. Production is like, they're probably so pissed at Jen.
I know.
Right? They're probably so mad.
They've got to be.
I would be. I'm like, you let us go this whole season knowing you were guilty, knowing all of this, and you're just going to plead guilty at the 11th hour when we're doing pickup scenes in New York and we filmed the entire season already.
Jeez. Okay, so question to you, since you're a fellow Housewives fan, do you think there's 2 possible routes they can go? They've already shot a season 3. Do you think they'll wait and then try to get some footage? They'll put that out immediately and then try to start shooting a season 4? Or do you think they'll do like the New Jersey season 3, season 4 route where they just go right into it and they just like keep filming, baby, keep filming?
Here's my
next. Much as we can.
Here's my next question for you. A couple followers sent me this, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Good point." Hold on, let me kill my dogs again. One second. Okay, dogs are now taken care of. The thing that was pointed out is something I didn't even think of, which just shows how kind of toxic we are in Bravo. They're like, is it not upsetting though that they would be employing an actual literal criminal who's admitted to actually frauding people. And I was like, oh yeah, wait. Like, it's one thing when it's alleged. It's another thing for them to drop a contract for someone who said, yes, I am guilty of all of those things and I'm about to go serve. Like with Teresa, to me, it's like a victimless crime, kind of. It's the banks. I don't care about the banks. I like when they put it that way, I was like, oh, do we give Jen Shah another season after she's admitted to being this person?
According to Bravo's history, they've never fired anyone because of a crime. So people have gotten fired for like physical violence, but like never fired for like actually like scamming people out of millions of dollars. For some reason, there's a line, and I don't know why, but that one doesn't seem to be like
okay. If it's a financial crime, they're okay.
Because even like think about we're in what season 14 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Apollo has been in both trailers now. Both trailers. Juicy Joe, Teresa thriving in New Jersey. Who else? Like we've had some criminals elsewhere. Where are some other criminals? Who knows? But
you're right.
Criminals are out there. I don't know.
That's on brand for Bravo.
Right. Is it morally right? No, probably not. But is it against Bravo standards? I don't know.
You know what I also find funny is just yesterday, Andy was in his stories opening gifts from Jen Shah. Jen Shah sent him baby gifts and he was opening. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. And I'm like, well, you may want to send those back.
I'm about to say, who paid for them?
Yeah.
And she got to pay what, $9 million in restitution? All right.
So, yeah, I like. Oh no, it was 9 million. Now it's only 6.5.
Oh, okay. We got it. It's okay.
Also, her mom like took out the savings for Jen to prove and all that. Jen's a bad person.
Yeah, I would never, even if my worst. Even if I was like El Chapo, like I could not let my mom sit up there and like knowing that I'm a whole criminal, let my mom like go into debt and get all of the. Oh, that's so sad. I've forgotten all about that.
And let her be on TV like, I did it because I know that you are innocent. She's like, yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, God. Do you think her and Coach Shah make it out of this?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't imagine.
I would I hope not.
I know. Have some self-respect, Coach Shah.
Yeah, get out of there. I mean, I'm sure he's got some secret dealings too. Because he didn't know. He was hiding. He knew he was lying at the reunion, pretending. He was like, no, I had rectal bleeding. I'm like, oh okay, that makes us not want to ask you more questions. Got it. Right. Okay, copy that. So he was covering up too. So I have a feeling he might be a little shady as well. But I mean, who wants to stay together? They already seemed like they weren't doing great anyway.
Right.
You know.
Oh boy. Oh right? Boy.
All right. Well, let's get into this episode. So because we have to talk about this episode.
I forgot other things actually happened. Okay, you're right. Yes.
I mean, here we go. This episode is titled hold on.
She by herself.
All of them should be called that. But it does utilize a Sheree reference, which is why it's good. Midnight in the Chateau of Good and Evil. I enjoy it because
what a fairy tale.
Right? And it kind of was. It kind of was like the set that was a gorgeous party at Sheree's.
It took her a decade to build that house, but that house was worth it. That is a house, and she decorated it immaculately.
I mean, it is stunning. Speaking of stunning, her daughter is stunning. So when she's at the podcast, I'm like, good God, like beautiful. But of course it's about like sex, and so I'm immediately uncomfortable. I'm like, I love that she's talking about this right in front of her mama.
Right.
the breaking news thing, like the Tyrone article, do you think that really did happen in real time?
I couldn't
real.
imagine. It did. It felt real, but I couldn't imagine like, I don't know, maybe it happened like right beforehand and she's like, okay, can I bring this up on camera? Because like I feel like we need to talk about this. Might give me like an extra 100 downloads because you know that like that extra 100 like makes a difference. So like maybe give me an extra 100 downloads or so. She's like, you know what, bring it up. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. And it happened.
Right?
There we go.
And so this is what we've been talking about. So it's the article, like, you know, we're not speaking because of blah, blah, blah. And she's like, he's the one who wanted to be on TV so that he could tell his side of the story. And it turns out he's leaking all these stories so that he can get paid.
Oh, Tyrone. I'm getting tired of
dirty.
Man, oh man.
Dirty.
Yeah, I believe it all.
I do too. I do too.
Tyrone's filming and Tyrone's in prison. So look at that.
Right. Good point.
So yeah, Jen Shah will be back. Jen Shah will be there until the day until Thanksgiving week when she goes to jail. Like,
oh my God, please do her confessional when she's like behind the glass.
Oh my God. Now that would be
she's
Housewives
like,
history.
Listen, I don't even think, and like she has to pick up the phone. She's like,
she would be unrecognizable. Like we're used to her with like the long acrylics and everything. She'd be like, well, she'd actually have like her natural hair and she'd be talking, but she'd still give you all of the Shah-amazingness and
yes. Oh, that just gave me chills to imagine that really happening. You mean it's not going to, but like,
right?
I'd love for it to.
That'd
be the first time that like Bravo had to contact like a penitentiary to be like, question. I know you're gonna say no, but
right.
What would you feel if we could have like a 14-hour day with Jen to do confessionals? And they were like, don't ever call here again. Okay,
because I feel like if they couldn't make it happen with Teresa, they're probably not even gonna chop with Shaw. So
oh no,
like
yeah, exactly.
Sheesh.
We get a little bit of Marlo with the boys, and this is hard because you know it's easier said than done to have patience with kids that are going through a really hard time because kids don't have the vocabulary and emotional maturity to be like, you know what, it's been really hard that our mom isn't around and that she's so difficult. Like they can't communicate like that, so they just are reactive. And Marlo is like, the school is calling and you're getting in trouble, promise me you're not going to be bad. And they're like, I don't even think I think he was like, yeah, okay, like they're not, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So anyway, but so Kenya has Sanya over and she made her dinner, and all I could focus on, I'm like, did she just make them salmon with a little bit of spinach? I was very upset.
Yeah. If you invite me over and it's like a mealtime, like don't do that. Like I was, and it was
like a very small portion. So I was like, well, I mean, I did see her putting, there was like cheese and crackers and things, which looked great.
She did a little charcuterie board. Yeah.
It looked great. Yeah. It looked delish. But then when they were eating this, there was just spinach and the protein. I'm like, listen.
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
Do I look like Popeye? Like, I don't want any damn spinach on the side. Like, what are we doing?
Like, you need to douse it in something. I don't know. But I have spent all day hungry because I'm trying to do a water fast today. So all I've done today is stare at everything on the television that has to do with food, even in very inappropriate. I've been watching true crime, and at one point I was like, "Ooh, her spaghetti looks good."
I did. Oh God, I get tricked into the most ridiculous shit. Like I remember I read an article that Beyonce had done like the lemonade diet to like lose weight, and you do it for like. What is
the master cleanse?
Yes, master cleanse. And I was like, oh, Beyonce did it. Like, I'm gonna try it. Like, what the hell? I got my family to do it. I have never in my life craved Burger King, but when I saw a commercial for Burger King, I was like, that is the most delicious looking burger I have ever seen in my life. And then there was like, that was when like the pizza companies were just like trying stuff. They were like, try this. They're like, the crust is made of sausage. Like, I'm like, I'd like a sausage crust pizza. Like, let me go get that right now. And as soon as oh my God, that was the worst. Like, coming out of the master cleanse is the hardest thing in the world, because you got to like wean yourself back into it. And if you don't, oh God, you're just like exploding from every orifice in your body. It's like, no, we reject all of this. Not okay. Yeah. Not okay, Kendrick. Not okay.
The master cleanse is also what Miss Yolanda Foster on Beverly Hills was so impressed with and proud of. Yeah.
Oh God.
That's why she had all the lemon trees.
Had I known that, I probably wouldn't have done it.
I was actually going to say, I feel like had you known that, because you're talking about it like it's the Beyonce thing, and yet
right.
I'm like, to me now it's ruined by Yolanda Foster, because she's like, I loved it so much I had to have a whole grove of lemons. I'm like, shut up, Yolanda.
Right. Oh God.
I know. I'm so glad you're not a big Yolanda fan. Sorry to anyone out there who is, but
no. She was like great that one season, then it's like, yeah.
And then it
Get out of here.
Yeah.
A lot of problematic scenes when you look back on it. It's like,
yes. When you rewatch, you're like, my God, we excused a lot from her because she's like foreign, but
right, like you're a monster.
Yes, a lot of really bad things. So they talk about the big Marlo fight, and Kenya's like, look, you know, she's calling me a liar for being sick, and whatever Kenya is saying, Sanya is co-signing everything. She's like, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Oh, that too. Yep. All of it. And you just know, like, we're veterans now, we can spot it. You just know, I'm like, I know what you're gonna do, because you're gonna hit the other girls, and you're gonna be doing the same thing with them. Okay, I'm on to you.
Flippity flippity. Flippity flippity.
We know.
We see you. We see each other.
She's definitely coming across thirsty. For sure.
People are peeping it too. Like, I need Sanya. I definitely want her to come back for another season.
Me too.
I need her to like watch this season and like adjust,
and catch herself.
I think she can be a great housewife. I think the reunion is going to be very telling for her. It's going to tell how she holds her own as a housewife, because if she comes with those reads ready and stuff, we're going to be like, oh, okay, Sanya, we see you.
That's always the rule. That reunion performance, that is the deal breaker.
We're ready for it.
Sheree's friend Fatum is fun.
Yes,
because like she just seems chaotic.
Yes.
And I like that.
Same. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before.
Me too. Where have we seen her? She has to have come around before or something.
Every reality show is filmed in Atlanta, so she's probably popped up on something else, and we're trying to think like, where do I know her from? I'm gonna like go through my Rolodex of reality TV shows in Atlanta. I'm gonna find. You're good with
you spot them from other shows, because she does look familiar. Even when we saw her, I didn't recognize her when she had the hat on at Kenya's daughter's birthday, you know, when she got it. I didn't, but when she has it, when not wearing the hat, I'm like, no, wait, I have seen you somewhere else.
Yes.
Her hair, I think, her like kind of like messy, frizzy hair. I'm like, oh, I know this energy.
Yes, very recognizable. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah.
Find it.
But this is where I know Sheree's not acting, because this bitch is sobbing.
Yes.
And
good Lord.
Nothing is stranger to me. No housewife cries more absurdly than Sheree. Like, she doesn't look right when she cries. So it's like when she does cry, you're like, oh my God, she doesn't.
It's like you don't want to stare. You're like,
yeah. And like, so when she went in the other room, I'm like, don't take the camera in there. Let her be by herself.
And of course, the camera's like running behind her, trying to catch it all. Like, oh God, leave her alone. Let her have a moment. Dear God.
Her face like doesn't know, like when remember that scene on the boat with Bob when they were in, where were they, Jamaica, and he was just such a disgusting, awful person, and she realizes like, you're horrible, you're awful.
Yeah.
And she's crying, but her face just doesn't look like a crying face. Like, she doesn't, like, no tears seem to come out. It just doesn't make sense on Sheree. She's so strong. But so she is crying. She's realizing like, so this guy was his plan all along to like eventually use the show to like make money and sort of manipulate it like this?
Let me be a conspiracy theorist for just a moment. So we know that we the fans met Tyrone back in season 4. He was the reason that we had that big infamous, while you were running your mouth with him, I was cashing Trump checks. But you know, that whole moment, he was the reason behind that. So Sheree was not on season 5. And for some, I don't think they were talking during that whole period. But when she came back at some point, now that she's back on the show, suddenly he's interested again and they start talking and yada, yada, yada. So it's like, okay, are you only wanting to be with her while she's on the show? Like, is that your motive? You want to prove like what's happening? That's kind of just the vibes it gives me. Like, I don't know if I believe the whole like star-crossed lover, it never worked out, maybe another lifetime kind of thing.
That tracks also because doing this, he doesn't actually have to see her and be with her, but he still gets to benefit off the relationship. That's why Kandi noticed, he's like, why can't he come out and see us? Like, but yet he'll stand her up and he'll leak a story like, oh, she tried to send me back to prison or whatever. So he's still benefiting off being in the relationship with her, but not actually having to be with her.
Exactly. And you know, Kandi thinks that he has a whole nother woman in Philadelphia.
And I believe it. I feel like Kandi picks up on stuff like that. She's good at, she knows the tricks, you know, she's been through it all.
Yes, she knows. She knows.
All right. So Drew and her mom go get mani-pedis, and we find out that Ralph is writing a book about the art of step parenting. I mean, after watching this show, who wouldn't want to take advice from Ralph?
Apparently Sanya wanted some advice the other episode, who God knows why, but oh boy.
But then like Ralph still hasn't adopted Josiah, claiming it's out of respect for his father, but of course it doesn't make sense to Drew because she's like, we haven't even seen him. So it's ironic that as a step parent, he's not quite living up to the expectation, but he's about to write a book on it.
Right. I don't know what okay, Ralph.
Okay, Ralph.
Okay, Ralph. All right, girl.
But then her mom plays that like premonition or whatever from the prophet or something about a woman.
You know, as soon as they said prophet, I was like, prophet Lot? Are we going back
here?
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing right now?
That's right. Oh. That was all her. Oh God. And it was about a woman or a man with the spirit of a woman who was damaging. And it's like, okay. But then she talks about, and we knew this was going to come back around. Sanya giving Ralph attitude about the whole like being busy thing. I mean, it was just too obvious for him not to be like, what the hell is that about?
That was not what you call shade. That was just literally like
rude,
disrespecting someone.
He's like, we're busier than you guys. And she goes, you say you guys are busy. We don't know.
It's like in Beverly Hills when Lisa Rinna's like, you're being passive aggressive, sudden. Sudden's like, I called her a motherfucker. Like, what do you expect? That I don't think that's really passive. That just seems aggressive. Like, what are we doing?
It's just like when Dorit last season kept telling Garcelle, you're not very direct. I'm like, she just told you talk too much.
Right. They hear whatever they want to.
Yeah. And so, we knew that was going to come back to haunt. And I'm kind of glad it did, because it was way too shady and rude, especially since you pulled him aside to ask him for advice.
Right. You knew it was going to happen.
You came out of nowhere with the shade. He's like, I didn't ask to talk to you.
Right.
You came over to me for my advice, and then you're shading me like maybe I'm actually not busy. It's like, well, then why are you asking me?
Right. Like, it made no sense. No sense.
None.
Oh God.
Anyway, so Marlo, Sheree, Sanya, they go shopping because Marlo has all the money in the world, apparently. She's going to spend $40,000 on her living room.
Ooh, she's got
what?
She's got to be dating someone, right? Like that we
Because
don't know about.
again, we don't know how the hell this woman gets her money. And we thought we were going to have answers because she has a peach now. And we still don't have those answers.
No.
Ma'am.
I mean, like, I get it because, like, I actually do. I see, like, celebrities, like, wearing the archive, but, like, even on, like, the best day, it's not affording you that much, is it? It can't be, like, bringing in that much revenue. Like, I get, like, sustain a certain lifestyle, but, like, the lifestyle to where you can have, like, Fendi representatives coming to your house for personal shopping days, I don't know about that.
Exactly. Like there's rich and then there's just excessive because you have so much money you don't even know where it goes. You know, like that's different.
Right.
So but then they talk about the Marlo Kenya fight and Marlo is like, I've never seen Kenya react like that. I don't know if she's taking pills to lose weight.
Oh. Jesus, Marlo.
And Sonya's like, well, I went over to Kenya's yesterday and they're like, oh my God. She's like, no, hold on. You know, please don't hate me. But she's like, you kind of blindsided her with the whole like lying about being sick. Do you think you cannot go below the belt? And Marlo says, no.
I almost respect her for telling the truth. She's just like, no, this is ingrained in me. This is who I am. Take it or love it. Sorry.
Yeah. And then she goes, Kenya has a bad case of can't take Marlo. You've got to read the Bible. I'm like, that okay.
All right.
Sometimes Marlo just crashes and burns with her reads. Like sometimes they're so good and sometimes they're just like so lame.
You're right. It just
it's right.
You gotta work on it. Yeah. She's got to get a code. Like maybe her and Phaedra can like sit in a room one day before the reunion, like just work
practice.
on, even if they're rehearsed. Yeah, just like get them together before the reunion. Like you'll do it.
Right.
You'll get it. Takes
and
time.
Then so Marlo tells him about how she kicked the boys out. But okay, so she says this a couple times. She said, I was already frustrated with the whole Kenya thing. And then she finishes and tells the story. And I'm like, I noticed that she's thrown that in there a few times. And I don't like that.
Trying to blame Kenya for why she decided to throw them out of the house. Like, that's icky. Yeah.
That doesn't work. And I get it. Like Michael punched a hole in the wall and like she found like a laptop that she was keeping in her room. Like she found it in their room. Like I get it. They're at her sister's house. Obviously everyone's a little like, ooh, that wasn't maybe the best move. I don't know where I land on it. I don't.
I feel like that would be me as a caretaker. Like I'm like, okay, y'all have eaten up all of my damn food. Like y'all got to get the hell out of here.
Because it was kind of like it was sort of an emergency. Like she had to take them in because it happened so fast. So I almost don't even know if it was like a deliberate choice of hers. Like she really thought it through. It was just like she had to take care of them and did her best. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know where I come down on that, but I guess as long as she gets them back, I guess that's okay. She didn't put him out on the street.
Yeah, it's not like she kicked them out and said good luck.
Right. She was like, no, you're going to your other aunt's house. Like, go there for a while and I'll come back and get you if you behave. So like maybe their attitude will change.
And like, is that even a punishment? Maybe the other aunt is cool.
Right.
But, I mean,
maybe there are other kids.
4 toddlers though. So that actually sounds horrendous. Yeah, right. That sounds like a punishment.
Yeah.
But maybe she'll have them help with the kids. Maybe it'll be like a good, I don't know, but they're not on the street.
That's like the best form of what's it called? Like
birth
not
control.
Abstinence. But yes, the best form of birth control is like taking care of someone else's kids for God knows how long. So
tell me about it.
Maybe this will be a good beneficial month for Marlo, and then she go get them back.
Right?
There we go.
So yeah. But anyway, we get Sheree's sexy ass slumber party, like gorgeous, like and her new confessional look. I love it.
Yes, that like hints of red, short.
No, I also like the blonde. I also like the one
Oh,
where she
yes,
has
yes,
like
yes.
the bright blonde and like the bustier.
Yes, much better than when she did that blonde back in like season 9 or whatever it was, when it was
I
like
know what you're
the
talking about.
storm wig. It was like, oh no, Sheree,
No,
that's not
this
it.
is good
No.
because it's an ombre. It's dark and
Yes,
it goes into the light. And it's like whoever dyed this wig did a fantastic job
yes, it's a
because
good
it's like
one.
sexy, beautiful, luscious, and it looks gorgeous. So this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
is fantastic. The party looks great. The balloons, the flower arrangements, her
Everything.
house. Oh, gorgeous. I wanted to be there.
I know it looked amazing, and the food looked good too. I
And
love
great
Sheree. Sheree's
theme.
gonna give you good food. That's what we love about Sheree.
Right? Give me,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to eat there too. I was so damn hungry all day. I'm telling
I
you.
know.
It was all day long. So Fatum is like got the coochie incense. And Kandi's not afraid of anything. Kandi's like, okay, all right,
Right.
okay.
That was a great Kandi impersonation, by the way. It was so accidental, but you did it. You nailed it. That was a great Kandi impersonation.
It's
You know,
really like not that hard to do.
it is. You just like don't open your mouth that much. Like, okay, girl.
Yes.
You know, I'll try it. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Yours is really good too. Oh, there was that one. I think you might have posted it. That one comedian recently did a whole like Kandi thing. She was just laying in her bed.
Yes.
Oh, it was so accurate.
I feel
God
like everyone,
damn.
she's like the person everyone loves to imitate. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So we find out that Fatum was so pissed from
Mhm.
from Brooklyn's birthday party that she got her business partner to run a background check on Drew and Ralph. And
Dear
they have all
God.
these aliases. And one of them is Ralph's is Danielle something something. This is
Oh
just
boy.
messy.
This is so bad because like I've been like I've been partially joking, but like partially serious, that like we still like we know Ralph like supposedly like works in finance,
Oh
but like
yeah.
whenever I hear someone works in finance, I'm always like, okay, yeah, okay, like what kind of finance, like what company, is it a Fortune 500, like what do you do with the company, like I need to know. And then when I hear like, oh no, I'm in business for myself, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, what's going on, I don't know. So now that we've added like these however many 16 aliases or whatever, it's kind of like, all right, I don't know how y'all affording this lifestyle, but let Jen Shah be an example to you. We just gave y'all 30 minutes of why you need to, adhere to the law, because it waits for no one. It waits for
Because
no one.
here's the thing. If you were to
Mm,
do a background check on me, nothing else would come up but my names.
right,
Unless like a misspelling came up or something. Like
right.
I'll put it this way. I work as a signing agent. So I do the final documents for real estate transactions. So
Mm,
sometimes you'll see like there's a form called a signature name affidavit, and there will be all
mhm,
these name variations that will come up when they run a report on you. And sometimes there's like
mm,
all these weird like spelling errors. Like it'll be like my name's Emily Rachel Hanks, but it'll be
mhm.
like Emily Raquel Hanks. I'm like, oh no, that was just a
Oh,
misspelling. But it wouldn't be like a whole different person. So like if you suddenly look, if I
ooh,
got someone's signature name affidavit and I was like, this is not you, like at all you, like that's different. I also, we don't know
sheesh.
who this person is that ran this report. This could be just Fatum being messy as hell,
Right.
and I like it.
It
Um,
reminded me, I think I love this scene so much because it reminded me of vintage Married to Medicine when Quad and Lisa Nicole were beefing, and
uh,
like Quad goes to the restaurant to like meet the private eye, and she's like, I want to know everything about, I want to know if a mother's elbows are ashy, so the whole thing, he's like, I don't know if her elbows are ashy, but I can get some information on her too. She's like, yes, okay, do it. It's very, the whole Atlanta scene, it's just like, what can I do to make the most mess possible?
and also let's take a moment to appreciate that the whole cast wasn't like, Oh my God. Like they would have been on Beverly Hills. Like they would have
Right.
been, because there's so much to actually hide in Beverly
Right.
Hills. The rest of the cast, this cast was like, ooh, just like laughing and cracking up. And
Yes.
anyway, and just moving
Right.
on. Like
I love it.
literally.
Right. They know when to take stuff serious and when to like laugh it off every
Yes.
time. Every time.
And like Drew shows up and she's wearing the exact same outfit that Sheree has. So but then Drew goes to hug Fatum and she's like, nice to meet. Oh, wait, I remember how we met. And like stops hugging her.
Yes.
And
yes,
then it actually
I am the woman that called your husband gay. Yes, that is me.
And then it actually, she's like, is she the woman? Like the dark energy? And I'm like, she would make sense to be the woman if you're like thinking of all the people that I see that.
Yeah, especially now that she's like done a background check on you. I can see it. I can see it.
She might have been right.
Right.
The prophet might have been right. But then now we've got like, it's like a Kandi Burruss event. We got like sexy nude, naked models.
Yes.
And of course, Kandi's spanking them. Like she's like, I didn't have anything to do with it, but I will enjoy it. Also, how great is it that they're just as sexual as hell on this cast? Like they are just shameless about it. It's so it's fun. I'm embarrassed because like I'm like, oh, but I love it. I fucking love it. Thank you, Atlanta.
I'm glad I'm not the guy though. Like when Kenya's like, well, we can see Bolo's not here tonight. It's like, well, damn, like they're gonna like, blur me out. Like, right. Jeez.
Edit that out and
like I'm never getting booked again.
Face. Exactly.
Jeez.
You're gonna show his whole face and then let that stay in.
Nice booty though.
He's never getting laid again.
Right.
But then again, Bolo is like his penis would terrify me. I would not be able to actually function with Bolo's penis in real life. So
yeah, that it's very aggressive. It's very just like haunting.
Yes.
Penis. Yes.
But Lisa Wu shows up. And
Lisa Wu.
What a treat.
Yes.
You know what it felt like? It felt like you know when like you're a veteran at a job, like you've been at a job from day one, and then like new people come in, but like some old people go, and then like one of the OGs comes in, and you're like, you don't know her, we know her. Right. That's how it felt with like Sanya and Drew. Like, oh, you don't know Lisa Wu, we know Lisa Wu. Okay, right. You weren't here for her. She's our friend. Yes,
I love that. I love that. Oh, Woo Woo. I followed Woo around for a bit because she was on some other reality shows too.
What else did she do?
She did Hollywood Divas with Carlos King.
Right.
She did it for like 3 seasons. That was a really good show. And she did something else that I can't remember, but
she's a great reality star.
Yeah, really, really good.
She's great. She gives you a lot. She's fantastic. So, okay, they're starting to paint and Drew's like, this is a great time to talk to Sanya.
Right.
And she really is picking. I mean, I don't blame her. Sanya was messy. And so she's like, so what was this comment about? Like, we're trying to figure out if you guys are really busy. Right. And Sanya's busted, obviously. And, but then Drew starts like really picking. So then like, Sanya's like, well, I was talking to Drew and Drew's like, you talking to me? And she's like, sorry, you both have girl names. And she's like, oh, now you're coming for my name? And Sonya's like, I'm not playing.
Exit stage left. No, I'm not doing this with you. Sorry.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
No.
But the best thing ever is Drunk Kenya.
Oh my God. I need this every episode. So good.
How have we never got this before?
Can I just say, like, this is the drunk Bravo Liberty we deserve, not Erica Jane cursing out people's children. Like, 2 entirely different spectrums. Like, I'm very okay with this. Like, Kenya doing a random death drop in the middle of the floor. Like, bravo, Kenya.
She just got so silly.
I love it.
And not combative, like not even an ounce of it. But first, Marlo and Kandi have to talk about her kicking the boys out. And Kandi would be the one that would be like, no, you can't do that. Because Kandi is so like kind of to a fault of hers. Like she's so loyal and dedicated. Like even with her mom, where you're
Right.
like, you should have cut that fucking bit. Because sometimes Mama Joyce pissed me off. I'm like, remember what one reunion where they were fighting back and forth, and she Mama Joyce is like, she only gave me however much money in allowance, and Candy's like, that's because you were spending the rest on the Home Shopping Network.
Yes.
And so we
Season
realized
6
like
reunion. Oh my God.
it's like Mama Joyce, like, so sometimes Kandi has boundaries issues. So it makes sense that she's the most upset about Marlo doing that. But once again, Marlo she's like, the stress with you and Kenya, it added to it. And it almost feels like she's using it to make up with Kandi.
Right, because she knows Candy's a very forgiving person. Like if Kandi and Portia can get along and become like the best of friends, and like be at the same events all the time now, like certainly she can forgive Marlo for whatever. So Marlo's like, oh, she'll definitely forgive. So let me pull her to the side and let me get back in the graces of Kandi Burruss while still making her earn her peach.
Exactly. It's like
we see you, Marlo.
She's tugging at her heartstrings with her nephews, but like, and then kind of making her feel bad. Like, well, I was just so stressed out because of us fighting. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Well, I don't know if you can really pull. All right, whatever. So they sit around at this gorgeous dinner table. Like, oh my God, that thing was stunning.
Yes.
And Kenya's like, let's do a whole Yas Queen moment. But Drew is unable to. Marlo's like, I love everybody here, whatever. So then Drew's like, I'm happy that I'm getting along with almost everyone here. And they're like, no, queen. So then they go around and come back around, and she's like, I am grateful that I get along with almost all of the people. And Kenya stares at her and goes, start over.
Oh my God.
Kenya at this point is hilarious though.
Yes.
But now Lisa is wasted. Lisa's on this drunk ass tangent. She's like, you know what? Because you got to forgive people. Because Drew says something like, I love everybody, even my enemies. She's like, that's right, you do. You love everybody because it's on you. It's in your heart. And then Sanya just probably tries to be like, hey, let me add on to that. And she's like, you can shut up. You be quiet. You wait your turn.
She's like, respect an OG when you see one, new girl. Jesus. Respect an OG.
Ah,
yeah. That was out of left field. I enjoyed it. Out of left field.
She's like, I'm about to have as much fun as I need to have here in my moment. I'm not going to be doing a lot of filming, but this I will do.
Yes.
But Drew lets Fatum. She's like, look, you spoke on my husband, so we're done. And then Kenya's like, well, that's funny you should mention that because she ran a background check. And it's like, wow, Kenya, like just going for it. And then, but Drew's response is perfect. She goes, oh, okay, I have a question. Is she a stalker? That works for me.
Yes, I'm okay with that response. Yes.
And then, like, as Fatum is explaining herself, Drew's pretending she's like, "Oh, can I get another thing for my
balsamic?" Yeah.
Thanks. And Kenya's like, "Drew, stay in the conversation." And Drew's like, "I'm in my salad right now, so I don't even know what's going on." But now. Right. And she's like, she may need some water because she's a little drunk. And then Kenya high fives over being drunk and does the backwards fall. And then she goes, and then they start to kind of go back and forth and they're like fighting. And then Kenya goes, but wait, do you love her? And then they keep trying to talk. And she goes, but who's Danielle? Can I have another cupcake? And then she goes, this is the best part of the whole thing. She goes, I have a serious question though. Is my wig on straight?
And production shows like it's pushed back like God knows how far back.
Did they do like the arrow, like it's all twisted? Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God. Do you think that's the same wig from the episode that Marlo was like, no, like that wig? I think it might have been.
Feels like it.
Oh my God.
But then we get the whole like coochie incense moment that was massively crazy. Like what are my eyes looking at? They even like distorted the imagery.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Potomac when like Karen got her COVID vaccine.
when she was tripping on the vaccine. Oh my God, that was really fun. That was funny.
The vaccination. Yeah.
I'm vaccinated. That scene was so good. Actually, I want to go back and rewatch that because like that was the shady, reasonable. That whole scene was fantastic.
Oh my God. Everything about that. Like Candace walking down the driveway, like, where am I, God? Like it was that episode is literally like, I tell people all the time, like that's in my top 10 of like Housewives episode. Cause when you watch that, it is funny from start to finish. That is a hilarious Housewives episode. Like you cannot beat that.
I like because Candace is like, oh yeah, no, we were talking, Giselle's like, yeah, we were talking to your mom about that. We were being shady. And she holds up the sign. Shameless.
I love them. I
love it. I miss them so much. I can't wait for them to come back. I know. Favorite franchise. Just favorite franchise because they
bring back our girls.
Bring them back. All right. So Drew stays away from the witchcraft, obviously, because she's, but Kenya has them all get up and she's like, let's toast to Sheree. And then here it starts. She's like, and 24 inches later, and Marlo goes, oh, I love that Kenya's finally admitting she wears wigs. I'm glad your confidence has come up. And Kenya's like, she is trying to talk to me. She's like, whatever, I am the moment, and goes up to the camera.
Yes.
This is iconic. They never did this. Never. And they kept it in. And she's I am the moment in the camera. And Marlo says, not to Mark, you're not. And all of them are like, Marlo.
Right. Like, can we just have this moment, Marlo? Like, let's just I love that the producers love drunk Kenya as much as we do. They're like, we're showing as much of this as possible. And Marlo, like, worst opportunity, like you got to learn, you got to read the room, because you literally, like, if you just let that go, you would have ended on a good note with you and Kandi, like, but you just had to like take the dig, and it's like, we're enjoying drunk Kenya right now. Like, don't ruin the moment. What are you doing? And really, Malty?
And then her response is to say, okay, well, then I want to invite you guys on a road trip to Blue Ridge Mountain. And of course, Kenya takes the opportunity to make fun of her. And she's like, oh, great, a road trip. And so she jokingly cheerses, and then Marlo comes over to cheers her. And Kandi's in the middle like, no, please don't. But my question is, why does Kenya go like running, and why are they chasing her?
No idea. I feel like it's not like a fun party until someone gets too drunk to you have to like follow them around for a minute. It's like, where are you going? Like, what direction are you headed in? Do not open that door. Where are you going?
I think they were. That's what they were like. You're not allowed to go upstairs, Kenya. Like, right. They quarantined the place off. She's like, Drew is literally like chasing her around the table. Like, no, don't go that way. Nope. And like gets her back downstairs, and they just like cheers again.
Yes.
It was a great scene. The whole party was fantastic.
This is like why I don't know if I'd be able to watch Beverly Hills if I didn't have like Atlanta and like Dubai to fall back on, because Beverly Hills is like that last week was too much. It was way too much. But if I wasn't able to like laugh at Atlanta episodes from like start to finish, I don't know if I could do Beverly Hills. Like, I need balance, and they're giving me the balance I need.
I am right there with you. Like, recapping last week's episode of Beverly Hills, my friend Pia and I talked it was a 2.5 hour recap. Ooh. Because there was just so much on social media.
Yeah, you had to talk about everything.
There was like the whole first maybe like hour even was the social media shit. And then because that's the problem, is Lisa Rinna adds so much fire to the mix with her social media shit, but she doesn't even really do much in the actual show.
She wasn't even on that like last week's episode or the week before that episode, but had to like start all this crap online. It's like, girl, go, I don't know, ride a horse. I don't know. Go do something. Get away from us.
Yeah, if she's not gone, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If she's not gone next season, I'm not going to watch Beverly Hills.
I can't. Like, in my mind, and I hate to like put Dorit in there too, but like, I think of the Fox Sports 5 that's left, one, Diana's gone for sure.
Duh.
I think that it's going to be Lisa Rinna that just might finally get the boot. And then I think Dorita's on thin ice too. Not because of like anything she's done, but like I think people are a little sick of like watching her week after week. So I don't know. I think Kyle, as horrible as Kyle has been, Kyle's safe. They're not going to fire Kyle.
And also, she's kind of easy to fuck with. Like you saw how Sheree was able to just so easily shut her down, and she was like just so destabilized. So that's fun. But we did get the mid-season trailer, which looks great. But you know what we were missing in it that I wanted to see? Remember when in the first trailer when Drew threw a bone at someone?
Oh yes.
I wanted to see more of that. We didn't even see a hint of that.
It was very like, it felt like almost an homage to like the early season, because it's like, okay, Sheree is back, and let's let them know that like the OG is here. And it felt, that whole mid-season trailer, it was so great. It felt like an homage to her, really.
It really did.
And I'm wondering like now, I'm wondering who, because at first I think me and you speculated, we're like, oh, that bone throw had to have been for like either Sanya or Sheree. But now I'm wondering, like, could it have been Fatum, or who is it now? Like, I wonder.
Yes. We did get, Kandi gave us one of the best lines.
Yes.
I am not Michelle Obama. You go low, I'm going low with you. Boom. I have said that all week long.
Boom.
Not even the second part. Just keeps going. I am not Michelle Obama. She just said it so funny. I cannot stop saying it.
Oh my God. One thing I love about that cast is they have no shame about who and what they talk about in front of who, because literally Marlo is attacking Kandi's relationship with Todd, while Todd is just like kind of sitting there like why am I in it? Like, what the hell did I do? It's like, Jesus, Marlo, like, wait till he leaves to go to the bathroom or something before you attack him. Like, what is happening?
She's like, you take care of a man. I'm like, he's right there. He's that guy. That's the man.
Right. That is him.
Jerk. All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. We talked longer because we had to talk all about Jen Shah.
Yes.
Hopefully for our sake, there isn't another big, huge bomb drop in the Bravo verse, because we don't have time.
I can't handle it.
We can't handle it.
I can't handle it. This was a Monday. Like, I cannot handle it.
It's too much. All right. Well, tell the people where to find you, please.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Me and Emily both, we love our 5-star rating and reviews. So go give her a 5-star rating and review. And when you get done with her, go over to my podcast, Reality and Comics 2. You can find me on all of the platforms. Give me a 5-star rating and review. I love that. Follow me on Instagram at Reality Comics 2, TOO, for all of the memes and just the things. Follow me.
Thank you for being here yet again. Appreciate you the most. All right, guys, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, rate, review. Bye.